Hey everybody, welcome to the Wednesday Daily Lunch and Learn. Thad Roebuck. I'll be hosting today. Hi Wade, hi VT. Just gonna wait a couple minutes or two before I do these slides here, and then we can go ahead and get started. Yeah, it looks like we've got some people still trickling in. Awesome, yeah, we've got a really good turnout today. Looks like we've got 4 people with us right off the bat. That's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on these slides. Oh, wait, okay. So you raise your hand here. Hey there, Wade, how's it going?
Oh, good. I have a flow that uh, loop a bunch of questions and, that they give answers. But I guess the core of my question is there a way to, maybe they got questions they need to answer or whatever, and they can just save that flow, like save the flow state and then re-enter it later?
Yes, yeah. So if we're talking about this is a like the user has a bunch of kind of forms they're going through to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, a bunch of forms. And yeah, I mean it could be three, it could be 30. And then of course the longer ones they're having to ask a lot of questions based on the questions we're asking them, and it might take a day or so. So we just want them to, for user ease, to be able to save it, not have to abandon the flow.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think we should be able to use a pause flow step for that. Let me go ahead and I can just pop it in this folder right here. Believe I have to check on what the inputs for this are, but this will put the flow in like a saved state basically for a believe it is a set amount of time. So at that point, it can be picked up later. Um, Depending on, I guess if there's not really any information on kind of when you want your users to be able to come back to this, this time might be dynamic. Maybe they can put a time they need to come back in whatever form they're on. I think another approach could be potentially using an assignment. Um, Rather than the pause flow step here. But I know the pause flow step will definitely do what you're asking, just as far as the inputs. I don't know if there's a way to get past just setting a specific kind of resume when time here. Um,
And so this would pause it. How do they go back into it?
the flow that is a oh yeah, so the flow just resumes when this time expires. So actually thinking about it for interactive forms, this may not be the best kind of
Yeah,
approach here.
these would be interactive forms where they have to click through like radio buttons questions.
Got it. I think maybe something you could do is potentially have a like a different outcome for have the user say, instead of the submit button, have it be like a save state button that generates an assignment to the, whatever user initiated the form. Um, and you might need a to add like a data structure to kind of capture all of the inputs for that form. Um, But I think if you created a data structure like that, and then you kind of save everything off on that alternative outcome, right? Like instead of a submit button, it's just a kind of save and quit button or save and come back to this later button. That way, it'll generate an assignment to the user, and then they can go ahead and complete that assignment to pick up where they left off, so to speak. And you could just have like a um, different inputs to the form that repopulate everything there.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So
so
so to reiterate, I gotta
yeah,
build a button that could export everything they answered so far, and then make an assignment for that, and then from that assignment, they could go back into the flow with all the answers as inputs of where
yeah,
they left off. Okay.
yeah, exactly. I'm thinking that would be the best approach to this year.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay, great. All right. Okay. So we did have another pre-submitted question as well. Hi, Alex. Yeah, I got this question. I am part of the way through kind of a demo for this. So let me show you what I have here for you so far. So basically, your two questions, as I understand them, is we have this process that I'm just going to debug it, but we're uploading a file. Um, After we upload the file, we're just going to set a cell value, convert the file to Excel, and then download it. Um, and the first question is, how do we rename the file? So what's happening, and let me just debug this so we can actually see the behavior, but what we're seeing is the file's being renamed. It's a CSV file that we import here, right? Sample.csv. And then when I submit the file, it looks like we hit an exception here. Let's see what exception we've got. Looks like I need to set this. Yep, okay. XLSX. So this should work now. Sorry about that. I saw this question a bit late, so didn't get all the time I wanted to work on a demo here, but here's this should be working correctly now. Yep. So we're converting the file and we download it. And I don't know if in my screen share you can see the name of the file here, but previously it was sample.csv. We saw that on the input, but the convert step has kind of appended a sample.csv.xlsx to the end of the file. And the first question is just how do we change that name? Um, Yeah, okay, great. You can see it good. Yeah, so what I would do here is I've got this split string by character positions step, and I think this is probably the best way to do this. My idea is just to so we're gonna have a file name property for this converted file from the output. So my idea is just we fail if position not found. I'm gonna just say false here. That should be fine. Then we have character positions and source. We might want split string, and I can split it on the dot here. I think I can do that. Let's see. Yeah, breaks it up at the specified character. Great, so I'm going to use this step and just splice the name of the string that way. So okay, the source is will be from the converted file, file name, and then the separator will just be this dot. Yep. And once we split that, I'm just going to pass this into the download form. And instead of a select from flow here, I think what I can do is just build data. Yeah, there we go. And then set these input mappings. So this is the file to download is coming into this form. And so I'm just going to have the contents be the converted file contents. The file name will be, let's see, the first from this split string output. We may actually need to use a merge text step here. I think that would probably be, or sorry, pardon, a merge text input here. If I do build data, yep, the file name should be merge plain text because we want what this split string will do is it'll take off everything after the dot. So it'll just be the file name. And then we want the XLSX appended to it, but we're, taking out the CSV. So if I go into the editor, and I want this, split string output first, which will just be the initial file name, and then I can do dot xlsx. That'll be the name. And then for the rest of the input mappings, these are as normal. The ID is the ID, and the tag is the tag. Great. Okay, so if I save this now, what we should get here, I'm just going to reselect the same file, and then download the file, and this should be visible. And we just get sample xlsx. So if for that specific, getting around that specific problem, of the name having that extra CSV in it, I think this is uh, probably the best solution. There might be a more elegant way of doing this, but this split string step should just split at the dot. Um, and then we can get the extensions removed and re-add the .xlsx extension that we're expecting, because we did convert this to an Excel, and so the file type is known. And the second question here then is there a way to do this without needing user intervention through a form, right? So like once we upload the file, is there a way to just get this downloaded? Um, I had to do some digging into this, and I don't have a working proof of concept here, but I understand. I think what we can do is we can use the document service dynamically, um, to basically register this with the document service, upload it to the document service, and then from there mark it as a public document, meaning any user can access it. And then we can generate a document URL that we can just redirect the user to, and download this instantly, without having any kind of user intervention there. I don't believe if we do it that way, we can specify the location on the user's file system that this goes to. It should just be default, um, kind of whatever the default the browser's download directory is. For most browsers, that will just be the user's home folder and then downloads. Um, we can definitely take a look at some of these steps. So it should be the document service. We have quite a bit in here. So I think I don't know if we have time to build this entire thing, but I want to at least see if I can provide you with the steps that we would use. I think we would want add document. Yep, this takes in file data and a folder ID. And then is there a mark as public? Yep, apologies. I think okay, so what if you want to change the name completely to something else? Sorry, Alex, I didn't see that question at first. Is there a way to modify the file name to the file name property of the file bytes object? Yep, yeah, so that's what I've done here directly. I haven't modified it directly, right? But I've just mapped a different file name in by using, instead of on this download form, instead of using the converted file itself, I went build data and then added a bit extra to the output of this string here. If you want to change the name completely, I think probably the best thing to do here would just be, we could use like a create data step, right? And then here, and I can actually just put this right in between here. Use a create data step and map different properties in. So this will be use file data. I believe I'm using that file reference. Should be the correct type here. Right, file data. Just call this something. Yep. And from here, we can go select from flow. I'm sorry, we wouldn't, in this case, we won't build data. And we can just get the contents from the previous converted file contents like this. We can get the ID from the previous ID like this, and so on with the tag as well. And then the name would just be whatever you're modifying this to, whether you want this to be a constant and you want all your files to be named foo, or you want to do something a bit different, like you want to use a merge text editor and then append something like hello to the beginning of the string, anything that you're doing there. Um, you should be able to do this with this build data approach, whether you use a create data step to kind of eventually, make a different variable name for this file data, like create data test instead of this the name is, yeah, converted file here. Or if you want to use build data on whatever step you are actually, you want to change that name for the sake of to map into, you can just use that on the input to that step rather than mapping the name in, or the entire file data object in directly. Yeah, sure, I can show you what I did. The download form itself, the download form is just a download file control. There's nothing else here. This is really the only thing. If you were talking about the document service steps I was mentioning previously, I don't have a working proof of concept yet, but I have seen our internal solutions architects working on this using this approach previously. And the folder you want to look for the document service it'll be in Toolbox, Integration, Internal Services. Pardon me, I skipped this. So Integration, Internal Services, Document Service. And the approach is we want to add the document, mark it as public, and then get a download link for the user to download, and then redirect them there. And from there, we should just be able the user will like download the file directly without any intervention in that case. The properties of the download form. Okay, got it. Yeah, so right here, and I've used build data right here. So on the input for the file download component, file data, or sorry, file to download, that's where I've done build data instead of select from flow, where I'm just passing something in. I do build data, and then it lets me select each property individually here. Hope that answers that question fairly well. As far as the doing this without user intervention, the only approach that I can see is kind of this dynamic use of the document service where we can mark things as public. And I'd say if you have any questions about how to use those internal services steps, if you're hitting trouble there, I think the best approach there would be to submit a support ticket, because using any of those internal service endpoints can be kind of involved. Okay, so we have a couple of other questions here. Seen from Sean. Okay, so how would I fetch a list of unique ID numbers from a dashboard? Okay, I'm trying to change the state of a set of records. The criteria is that users that exist on the dashboard that are not in an uploaded Excel document need to have their state changed. Okay. So the question here is, how would I fetch a list of unique ID numbers from a dashboard? I think Sean, I'm gonna ask you to unmute for a second, if that would be okay, if you can just explain kind of the use case here. Yeah, great. Okay, awesome. Here we go. Hi, Sean.
Hi, sorry. I know that even me typing that out, that came off a little confusing, but
Oh, yeah, no worries at all.
so I'm having this issue, right, where I have an uploaded or I have users that are basically on a dashboard, right, and they each have a unique ID number,
Okay.
right? And then I'm uploading an Excel document to this dashboard. And on this document, there's going to be users that have there's going to be a bunch of different users on it. But what I want to have happen is the users that are already on the dashboard, right? Uh, that are not on the Excel that I'm uploading,
Yep.
right? Um, I want to be able to change their state effectively. So say if I have John, Kim, and Sue, all on the dashboard, and then I upload Dave, Kim, and Sue. Then I want John's state to change, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Understood. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then how are you doing this, the upload exactly? Is it just a flow
It
run part on the dashboard?
yeah, so I have I have like an upload document or upload, I should say, a spreadsheet button on the dashboard, and that pretty much triggers the actual flow itself. And from there, it starts reading in the Excel data, and it has and it'll create entities based off that. And that's currently where I'm at now.
Got it. Okay. I think so I think, and I guess my other another question I have for this is, does this need to respect, whatever filters are currently on the dashboard, or is it just kind of the entire set of data for whatever the report on this dashboard should be returning?
Can you explain that? I'm sorry.
So you have my understanding is you have a dashboard that's displaying several different users through like a report. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So should the logic that kind of looks at whether a user is present on the Excel sheet but not present on the dashboard to change their state, should it respect like, applied filters by the end user? Like for instance, if I filter by name and I put a name that's not on here, and then I hit apply, um, do you want the logic that's kind of looking for, comparing users between the Excel and the dashboard to respect this filter, and so just look at whatever
Oh,
data is here?
no, I don't want it to, I guess, respect
Okay,
the
got it.
filter.
So okay, so yeah, we're just looking at all of the data in the report.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm basically comparing it to like the data dump is effectively it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think probably the approach here is to just add logic into you said this, you have that upload Excel sheet button that's kind of kicking off this a flow that allows them to upload the Excel sheet and does all the steps after that.
hmm
I think adding logic to that flow itself to kind of compare, you can create a rule that says, is ID in this list but not in this list, or I'm sorry, I've forgotten the exact criteria, but is this ID in the Excel sheet but not in the uh, run report results for this dashboard, or vice versa. And then you can just use I think you could use just a run report step to get the outcome for what should be showing on the dashboard there, and then kind of compare. Okay, look at those results, and then look at the results from the Excel file. And I think for that, provided you have consistent formatting there, you can convert the Excel to a CSV, and then I believe run report also allows you to return the results as a CSV. So you can kind of compare there and use CSV logic to look row by row and go, okay, do these properties match? Do they not? And then for all properties that don't match or whatever the criteria are, then you can go into logic further down the flow to update the state. Sorry, I know that was kind of a lot of word salad. It's a
I'm good.
little, I think it's a little hard to show without a solid idea of what the dashboard looks like. Does that kind of make sense? Do you have any
Mm,
follow-on questions for that?
Uh, no, I think that kind of makes sense. I suppose this whole time I was doing it after the file has already been uploaded, because I was just it creates because when the file is uploaded, it creates an entity there.
Got it.
Um,
Okay.
so I suppose it doing it while it's being uploaded, that might be what I'm looking for. But yeah, it's just finding like the right entity in order to pull that information out. That's the because I've been doing like I've been using fetch entity states in order to try to pull the required data out, and um, sometimes I feel like I'm pulling the wrong data, or
Oh,
actually
gotcha.
I am pulling the wrong data most of the time. So that's kind of the problem that I kind of ran into, is because I can pull the right data as far as data that is in the uploaded thing, because, well, I mean, that's the easy part. The hard part I'm having is comparing it to the data that's already there, and then basically creating like another entity of all the data that is in the dashboard, but not on the Excel. So that's the only thing. I guess that's the only thing I'm really trying to do, is just find being able to make a proper fetch entity step that uh, that allows me to do that. But yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think that would depend on just whatever the data source for the report is. Kind of making sure you match those criteria within the fetch entity step, if those are all, entities that you're reporting on.
Hmm.
And that way the results, I mean, should be consistent with what you're seeing in the report versus what comes out of that fetch step, and then whatever you end up ultimately comparing to the Excel file.
Okay. Okay. All right. I will try doing that then. Awesome.
Okay, for
Thank you,
sure.
Ken.
Yeah, and again, yeah, no problem. Feel free to
Mhm.
open a support ticket as well, if you're still having trouble with that, and we can kind of, take a more detailed look on a call where we have, more time and you can share your screen and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm I'm actually kind of reaching my wits end, so I was about to I just um wasn't too sure it was all
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, I hope that helps a little bit. Hope that can help point you in the right direction. And if not, support's always here to help as well.
awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I believe we had another question. Was this in chat? Let me check. No, it's in the Q&A. Let me go back through from Sonali. Okay. So we have an assigned form configured with a custom email. Okay, inside a case entity trigger flow. The assignment email is getting sent twice to the assigned person. The assignment run link in the email body is pointed at localhost instead of the public URL. Okay. Assignment email is getting sent twice to the assigned person. Okay, and the run link in the email body is pointed at localhost. How can I make sure the email is only sent once and that the link is pointing to the public URL? So there's a few things I can think of here. It sounds like maybe okay, so something we can definitely check for this. If I go to system administration, system tools, event viewer, there's tons of reports here. One of them is, let's see, it may not be here. I might have to search it. It's integration activities. Great, there's the dashboard. That's the dashboard source itself. I believe I can navigate to it with a right click action. Just check that. I go view, show page in new window. Will that show me anything? Oh, this is event viewer. I must have just missed it. Interesting. I'm seeing system activities, but not integration. So integration activities dashboard. This maybe it's gone in the most recent version. It should not be. In any event, I can search it here and we can, I guess I can just probably, okay, integration activities dashboard. Let's see what I'd get if I do this. Right, and this has no dependencies that I can see here. Flow management. Thank you, VT. Yeah, I guess it isn't flow management. Strange that it was showing. You're exactly right. Thank you very much. So I have nothing here because I haven't sent any emails out. This is like a fresh local install. But anytime you have email sending and you want to kind of troubleshoot what's happening there, why is it happening with email steps specifically, it really this can be a really helpful tool. So if you have if you're sending out 2 emails, it sounds to me like I said this is in a trigger flow. It's possible, yeah, in a case entity trigger flow, the assignment email is getting sent twice to the assigned person, and the run link in the email body is pointed at localhost. So I think the things that need to be checked here probably are, how many times this case entity trigger flow is running whenever this happens. Something you could do there is you could put a log step right before the step in the trigger flow that sends this email, or even just right at the beginning of the step, just to log out, hey, this trigger flow ran. You can just I can show you here, just to leave this pause flow step. Just a log step, right, and do something simple. Like, the big thing is I would just make sure you're logging at warning level, and then give it a category like let's see, could be something like email testing, or any category that sticks out to you, and you'll be able to filter by that category in the system logging report, and also in the file system logs. It'll be a bit easier to see, and then just put whatever you want here, like, hey, trigger flow ran, and then you can see in what situations this is running twice, why it's running twice. It could be also that there is some retry logic on the send email step. There's like a retry on fail count. I wouldn't think that we would retry on success, right? So if the user's actually getting 2 of these emails, not from the user's getting 2 of these emails, and it's not we're not just seeing it in the debugger or anything, then I wouldn't expect retry count to matter too much here. But I think these logging steps probably would be a good start as to finding when these emails trigger, and why. Whether they're sending out every time, if you can kind of pinpoint, do they run at the exact same time? Is there some kind of failure state when you look in that report that I showed you, the system administration, system tools, flow management, integration activities report? That can be a big help as well, because that's also logging out the email step stuff. And then the other thing I would check is just the body of that email in the step itself, whether there's any way that localhost could be getting passed in somehow, whether that's kind of maybe an artifact of testing on a lower environment, or the portal base URL might be set to localhost rather than to a different value. Could be a few different things there, but I think that's a good start to check into that, just to kind of see if maybe there's something that could have been forgotten there, as far as simple things to check. And if we exhaust those options, then I think probably it would be best to open a ticket with our support team, open a case there, and then support can take a look at that. Those issues with like a trigger flow running twice, or sending too many emails or not enough emails, can be kind of tricky to track down. So if you're unable to find it by checking that integration activities report, and getting some log steps in your case entity trigger flow process to see where things might be going wrong, then I think having a support technician on call with you to look through this would definitely be beneficial. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. I think at least that's a start to troubleshooting why that might be happening. Unfortunately, it is like impossible for me to say without having the trigger flow and all of that in front of me. But I hope this general steps are at least a good start towards getting that flow into a better state. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. That's a great point, VT. Thank you. Yeah, if there are automatic notification settings set up, and a manual email, or if there's an email in the assignment itself, then that could 100% be it. I think that's absolutely worth a check as well. Well, I've got everybody here. I'm just going to run through our daily announcement slides, as I think this will probably be everybody we have for today. So just in case you missed it, all versions up to and including version 6 are in official end of life. Any new projects that you're creating, or if you have any questions on where to upgrade from there, we strongly recommend updating to version 8. Version 8 is definitely leaps and bounds more stable. There have been a lot of improvements from v6 to v8. And we just kind of recommend that you work with your team and your CSM to establish like an update cadence and make sure you're taking advantage of all of our exciting new features and bug fixes and things like that. And also staying current. If you're on version 6, which is in end of life, we're unable to provide hot fixes, patches, anything requiring kind of code-based support for a dev team to, whether it's writing a logging patch or fixing a custom step or something like that. We can't do that if you're on version 6. So definitely, very beneficial to upgrade. And our next product roadmap will be on November 2nd. We do these bi-weekly every other Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. And for this one, we're looking at how the platform has improved, over the last 6 months, and we're previewing all of our new features for the next 18 months, year and a half. Yeah, so if that's something you're interested in, don't miss out and join us every Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. Every other Thursday, pardon me. I believe that covers it for the announcements. Yes, yep, okay. If anybody has any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I think we'll be waiting until about 12:40 and then go ahead and close the webinar. So yeah, if nobody has any questions, then it's great talking to everybody, answering some questions, and I hope you all have a great day, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Oh, hey, yeah, Alex, I can let's see what we have. Download file to path. Yeah, okay, so I believe I looked at that one as well. Let me take a look. I want to say that's for a path on a remote file system. Yeah, so let's take a look at this download file to path. Downloads to a local destination folder via REST call. Yeah, I don't know if I tested this. I'm uncertain if the local destination means local to the decision server or local to the machine. Um, Unfortunately, my install right here is probably not the best place to test this because it is local. So that distinction would be completely lost. Local decision server. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you for clarifying. That's what I thought. So yeah, so this would be for the decision server itself, Alex. So this wouldn't be for if you wanted your users to get this download would not go to them. Like if you map this in, map the file URL in here and then map the local destination path to be um, see users, your home folder, and then downloads. That would download on the local decision server itself rather than your computer's C drive. Yeah, so it would be downloading to the decision server C drive, but not if you were an end user, it would not download to your own C drive, I don't think. This would just be downloading to the local decision server itself. I can't really demo that for you on this installation, unfortunately, because it is local. So it would look like it is coming to my local computer. But we wouldn't really be able to see that distinction. Yeah, I'm sorry, we can't. Sorry, it looked like that step was what we were looking for there, but I don't think it will be. I don't think there's a way to download to a specific path on an end user's machine through any step in decisions that I know of. Because that's handled by the browser. Um, the download should just go directly to wherever the browser's default download location is. Yep, yeah, no problem, Alex. Great. Okay, yeah, thank you for the update, Sonali, on the assignment email being sent twice. Okay, great. Yeah, so if you move the trigger flow, then it only sends once, as long as the trigger flow is not the first state. That makes sense. Okay, I see. I see. Yep, so the assignment email was sent out and then the trigger flow was on the first state, so we sent that email twice. Okay, great. Yeah, glad you've got that part figured out. Yeah, very good point, DT. VT. I would be worried if decisions could just put files wherever it wanted to. Absolutely. On an end user's machine, no less, without, user intervention. Especially through the browser. That would not be good. Okay. If there are no more questions, then I think I will end the lunch and learn here. Alex, Sonali, VT, Sean, anybody else that joined that I was missing, thank you for joining. And hope to see you next time, and you'll have a great day. Take care.